So Jeff Passan of ESPN wrote an article yesterday about Major League Baseball expansion, and in it, there's some nuggets. Nothing great for Portland.
Well, nothing particular. I mean, sounds like Salt Lake is the
Well,
preferred.
again, nothing great for Portland is
Yeah.
that he reports that Salt Lake has passed. He said multiple ownership level sources have told him that Salt Lake has passed Portland,
Yes.
and that is probably well, as I mentioned, that is not so great news for Portland.
No.
He is saying that a 32 team Major League Baseball is inevitable. Expansion fees, I mean, they're in the billions. It's 4 billion total if they get two teams, and there are viable options emerging, Nashville and Salt Lake City. So it's not imminent, and it's unlikely to happen until the early 2030s because the new CBA isn't coming until after 2026 season. But Salt Lake has passed Portland. There's a lot of reasons for that. One is the strength of their proposal. They would be the smallest city with Major League Baseball, so that concerns owners. But he said that their proposal for a stadium district is like $3.5 billion stadium district. They proposed it last week.
Yeah.
I guess it's just off the charts good. They've had solid attendance numbers for the Jazz and Real Salt Lake. And one other advantage they have is they can potentially host the A's because the Salt Lake Bees Stadium is going to be done in time for the A's to need a temporary home.
So they could do a solid to baseball, right? And as you scratch my back, I scratch yours.
Well, that and show that
Yeah.
the city
Well,
would support it.
And forgot they hosted they hosted the Olympics. Like Salt Lake's fine. I understand that it's not a giant city, but Salt Lake is doing just fine.
Well, they seem to have their S together. I'll tell
Yep.
you that because
Well,
they came in the whole expansion, the lexicon that
Yeah.
we've been talking about here for years. They have not been on the radar until this last couple of years.
I wonder, and you'll never know, but God, the pandemic and I know there's much bigger things that happened during the pandemic than just what happened to our city in baseball, but it's just you gotta wonder the head start that we had and the momentum we had, and Salt Lake wasn't even a thing. And remember, right before the pandemic, Major League Baseball was getting set to come tour the city. And then the pandemic hits and the floodgates open and we F the thing up and we let the city go to absolute hell and it gets overrun and we've never recovered. And meanwhile, like the only thing that we had going there wasn't another viable city in the West, right? Major League Baseball, we know
Vegas.
Well, but Vegas got a team. They're going to get the A's.
Right.
So, like, we knew one was going in Nashville. And so the idea was there just isn't a lot of competition. It's like, we just can't screw it up. Well, we did screw it up. And then Salt Lake popped up. And you just wonder, had that not have happened, how far are we along? Do we have a deal? Are we like Nashville at this point where we're entrenched and we've got baseball coming here and it's just a matter of time?
I don't know, man. They got to get some land. I mean, you just can't.
Now we still haven't heard anything. I mean,
it's just all talk until you get land.
Yeah. Well, and we had the proposal. What was that proposal? What was that, a couple weeks ago about the red tail? But I haven't seen anything else on that.
There have been a variety of proposals.
Right? I mean,
well, no, they've just got to get. I mean,
you got to buy.
They have to get that land.
Yeah,
they're trying to buy it.
Yeah.
So hopefully they buy it, and if they do, they're probably back in the game. But even that, it sounds like Salt Lake City has already passed them, and they passed them quickly.
Yeah.
So that's,
sucks.
It's not good.
What about the Diamondbacks? Do you think we're willing to build the Arizona Stadium?
What?
Because the Diamondbacks are blustering, saying that they need $500 million to help build the stadium. And if Phoenix won't do it, we'll find somewhere else to give us $500 million. Do you think Portland's willing to pony up $500 million? Do we do that?
No,
we don't.
But they're not going anywhere. That's a good market.
Oh gosh.
Well, it's not the greatest market, but it's a good market to have baseball. There's a lot of people down there.
They're just posturing to get the stadium built.
So the Salt Lake officials have been invited to spring training to mingle with teams about how to operate a franchise. Yeah. Like, if that doesn't tell you all you need to know,
we're behind the 8 ball a little bit.
Well, but again, to be optimistic, they are trying to buy a piece of land, and if they do that, perhaps they get back onto the. These things change quickly.
Sure. Well, look how fast Salt Lake rose.
And I'm sure Barrett will be on. We're out Tuesday. We're out at X Golf Tualatin.
Yeah.
We'll ask him. I'm sure Barrett will be around.
Yeah. And hopefully he's got some answers for us. Have you seen like the artist renderings of the Power District down in Salt Lake?
Yeah, it's awesome.
It looks pretty awesome.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
And
which is essentially
you know,
what they're trying to do by moving that thing out to Redtail is the same thing.
yeah.
They're trying to
But
build.
they get the damn land
Yes.
and then get some renderings, and then you're
Let's
on
go.
par. Well,
Yeah.
maybe not even still on par, but you're at least closer.
Well, and then you don't have to deal with the city of Portland at that point, once you buy the land from them. So maybe then you can kind of kick this thing in the ass and get it moving. Because it will happen before old Manfred, when he's gone. Like, this is going to be before he shuts this down.
Well, he said that he wants cities selected and the process moving along by the time his tenure ends, which he has just announced is going
Yes.
to be 2029.
Yeah, so
But like Passan said, its expansion team probably won't actually be playing until the 2030s.
but you need to. You have a short period of time here to get this figured
But
out.
it just goes to show you that, and I've long said that, and I do believe this, that the Major League Baseball to Portland, the Portland Diamond Project group, is really strong. Like, they know what they're doing.
Yep.
And I know people don't believe it, but you should believe that they have money behind them to own an ownership group. It's not just Russell Wilson and a couple of
it's
other
not funny money.
local guys. That's right. That said, this I think just shows you how hard it is to bring everything together to make it happen, right? Because they're good, they're smart, they've got money, they've spent a lot of money. They're trying and trying and trying over years, trying and trying and trying, and cannot get over the hump in Portland. Whereas Salt Lake, it just goes to show you do need your local government to want it and the people to want it.
Yep.
And Salt Lake has that.
Salt
They have that synergy.
They get stuff done.
So it's all come together, much like Nashville. It's coming together for them better and quicker.
And you look at Portland.
Whereas Portland continues to run in, or Portland Diamond Project continues to run into roadblock after roadblock after roadblock.
Well, look at, if you're looking at two of the biggest boom cities right now, Nashville is popping, right? Everything in Nashville is exploding. Salt Lake has been on a 20-year growth curve. And from the Olympics to building the new freeway project, things are going great in Salt Lake. And unfortunately with us, it feels like, again, go to the pandemic, it feels like we made a hard left and, we're struggling to come back. So, I mean, that's the part that scares me. Isn't necessarily the Portland Diamond Project. Our city just scares me.
Well,
But
that's what I just said. Like, the Portland Diamond Project is great.
Yeah.
And they are trying, they have money, they've done everything
Possible.
smart. They've got good people behind them. They know what they're doing, and yet without the city and the local government really being on board, you just can't. They haven't gotten anywhere.
But does Beaverton help?
Well, again, get the damn land.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, you got to get that from Portland first. Goes back to your
I
original
think they're upset. I'm going to ask Barrett this on Tuesday, but I don't think they wanted it out there that they were about to buy Redtail.
Yeah.
Or they were trying to buy Redtail because they don't want this talk of like, yeah, show me when you like.
Yeah. Proofs in the pudding.
Don't come out with something until it's big and concrete and substantial.
Yeah.
And so this leaked, and probably from the mayor's office, because the mayor wanted the Lloyd Center, and they didn't. And so now they have to fight this battle of, well, if they don't get that land, they just, I don't know. I feel like sometimes they get viewed as a joke or viewed as a group that just.
It's a good point.
It's just like, well, this is never going to happen, and because we get it on the text line. Hell, we're on the sports, the sports show and station of record in the marketplace, and you should see how much hate comes in about the Portland Diamond Project on our text line.
Overwhelming.
It's unbelievable. Nobody buys it, and I'm telling you, these guys are good, and they have money, and they know what they're doing. But to my point, even if it's not even in the city of Portland, they still have to buy the land from Portland. They just can't get anywhere with this dumbass city.
Can you imagine the egg on their face? And you talk about, and you are so right about people not having faith. Can you imagine if it comes out in a week or two that the city of Portland goes and tells them to, go blank themselves, and they don't get Redtail, and now we're back to not having any sort of idea of where the ballpark's going to go, at least to the public. You want to talk about looking bad? I think I don't know if you can afford that.
That's it.
Yeah, right?
It's got to be it. It's over if you If they do not get ready, they're already behind the 8 ball now.
Yeah.
Like they were in the lead for years ago.
Yeah.
They are not anymore. If they don't get the red tail land, what are you going to do?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, they're done.
Maybe they have a backup plan, but I think that's the other thing that bothers people is that it's we don't even know. And someone said on the Vancouver Ford text line, would there be more public support if we knew who was behind the project? I do think, at least the feedback I hear, that bothers a lot of people, and it makes them think, as you said, it's a good group. They've got money, they've got backing, but when you're not willing to be public about who it is, that causes a lot of people to think that you're full of crap.
But what if there's a reason for it?
I don't know. But that's the thing.
I mean, there is.
There is.
I can tell you there is a reason why they cannot
people
talk about that.
But people don't even know what that reason is.
And they can't say.
And people are suspicious.
Understood. Totally get that. Be suspicious. Like this guy says, I don't doubt Portland Diamond Project. I doubt MLB, government, and other entities. That's the way you should be viewing it.
Yeah.
At the same time, people don't. And that's frustrating. I just think that's frustrating. But, you know, like you said, the proof's in the pudding in Salt Lake City. I mean, you want to talk about getting their S together.
They did.
Dude. Running circles around Portland.
And Nashville's a done deal, basically. I mean, Nashville's just sitting back being like, cool, we'll see you in 5 years.
So, it's not great news.
Well, maybe we'll get lacrosse.
Wait, didn't we already have lacrosse?
Maybe we'll get arena football.
Didn't we already have arena football?
WNBA.
Didn't we already have the WNBA? What about an MLS team?
We got
That's
one
a good
of those.
league.
Ooh, NFL. Tualatin.
Love it.
What if we got a Canadian?
We'll get a Super Bowl.
What about a Canadian football team?
What?
Like annex a little piece of land, call it Canada. And
All I'm saying is, think about this: the NHL has teams in the United States.
That's
and
true.
Canada.
That's
Major
true.
League Baseball, right? Why can't Canadian football have a team in the
What
United
about
States?
another NBA team?
Two.
We do love a good novelty.
Wouldn't that make the Blazers better? They actually had some competition here in town.
We put one out in Gresham and put it out at Lentz Park. We built the Blazers. We call it the remix. Just take the G League and make it the Blazers, and let's go.
All right. Well, there's the not so great Major League Baseball